G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the south side of the map in the colour pink, playing as the Ottomans once again with that great bombard monument. We've got Corvinus 1, aka Salami. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're on Hill and Dale here. The updated map, a little bit less gold in the base, a little bit more gold in your face down on the Dale. But in that north corner, playing as the Chinese in the colour orange, we've got Hakuna Matata, aka Core. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're here on the new patch. We're exploring the possibilities here because, as you'll be aware, the Ottomans have been buffed up. Specifically, the Ottoman imperial age has been buffed up. And if you'd like to buff yourself up, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button because it definitely helps out with buffing up these videos on the channel. So thank you very much for doing it. But let's talk about this matchup. This is a matchup that I'm a big fan of from the Chinese position because I am so safe. I can just do anything I like. I can go for 2 TCs, I can go for 1 TC, I can go for 26 TCs. You can make as many as you like in this matchup, and you're always going to feel really safe. Just simply because the Chinese, they take about 6 minutes 20 to come online with their second TC. The Ottomans, they ramp up in their aggression in the early game. They don't come out of the box like the French do, looking to hit hard from that 4th minute or that 5th minute. They take time. And because... Oh, look at this. Oh, we got ourselves a little bit of a double banger up here towards the top. So, as I mentioned before, this is Core that we're watching play. So, Core's a pretty good player. Currently sitting at about rank 40 on the rank ladder going up against Corvinus, who's obviously pretty good as well. I think currently sitting about rank 35, somewhere around that region. So, this is going to be a pretty close matchup. And if I had to give a civilization a favorite, I would definitely say it's the Chinese. The Jukunu is just a really good unit in this matchup. Really solid in the early game. The main threat that you're going to have is that if your opponent does go for that early meta, looks for the ranged armor, that there is the risk that they will be able to tank you up with their Sipahi on the front line. But we have seen a trend towards the castle age for the Ottomans. My question will be, though, do we see a trend towards the imperial age once again? We've seen it before, Corvinus 1 going for a fast imperial strategy. It was on this map as well, so look, he's up against the Chinese. It's another matchup that is quite a passive matchup that is relatively slow, right? Like, you could leave the Chinese for 10 minutes and you wouldn't have a unit in your base. That's the kind of matchup it is. So if there's any matchup that would really make sense to go fast Imperial, I think it would be this one. And we do now start to see the twin minaret Madrasa coming down for Corvinus. And I gotta be honest, where's my music? I've got no music. I don't like it. I don't like it. I remember when I was playing Bar, it had the option in the menu. It was like, oh, you can have silence. They had like an actual name for it. You could choose your soundtracks. You could be like, you want this soundtrack, the modern one or the classic one, and then it was like, and silence. And I was like, I don't want silence, man. Silence is weird. give me some good tunes. Do we still have silence? Where's my music? Get out of here. Anyway, Imperial Academy going up now over here for Core. It's a pretty decent spot that he's got here, but I mean, realistically, it's about the best you could ask for. I think there is an absolute 0 chance you're going to be getting the stone/gold in this Imperial Academy, and he pops this one pretty damn close to the mill, pretty close to where he will be gathering his woods from. So I do like this. I think this is a really good spot for Core, about the best he could get. Only the 1 villager on it, though. We'll ride on board with Corvinus and see how he's doing as the age up is about to come through. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 minutes and 43 seconds. Talk about getting yourself up to the feudal age quickly. Let's see whether he prioritizes the castle and inevitably the imperial age just as much. So now that he's up to that castle age, we can see that it looks like he's going to begin production of military school. So what, just the 1 villager on stone for the moment. So obviously he needs that 100 stone in the back pocket to be able to put it down. I'm curious whether he looks to go for a blacksmith as well. I'd love to see that, but I suspect that he might, considering the fact he's gone to the extent of putting down the lumber camp. I was actually running some tests a little bit earlier today on the Ottoman Fast Imperial, and I said, do I even need to get a lumber camp? Like, realistically, can I just be like, can I just go off my straggler trees? I feel like I probably could. Anyway, on the other side of the map, we've got the age up about to come through for Core. Here it comes, 4 minutes 30. Not a bad little timing there for the Chinese. Of course, only the 1 villager needed. And we've got the Barbican towards the front of the base. A little bit of an awkward spawn, I'd say. Just mainly because if you look at the way that Core's base is, it's oriented towards this western corner, whereas Corvinus is down towards the south. So the entries of the base don't really line up. Sometimes you get them that they're lined up right next to each other. So it's very easy to come across and make that push, whereas this one feels a little bit longer to come across here. And I do note that he's got an absolute banger of a base. Look at this. This will just secure the complete front as well. Maybe throw a little wall down here. He's got space to wall on the backside. Obviously, you know, it's Hill and Dale. You're going to be walling off these little corners as well. So he'll be absolutely A-okay. He's going to be loving life. Barbican comes through. Song Dynasty is online. And there is a distinct absence of stone gathering villages, especially in this matchup. If there's ever a matchup to be doing it, it has got to be this matchup. Now, what I find interesting is that he's not even scouting his opponent. He's got plenty of sheep, lots of deer, but he's not scouting his opponent. He's got no idea what Corvinus is up to, and that was a pretty early age up. So either he's already done the math and said, look, there's probably going to be a fast castle here for the relics on the cards, or he's just not scared of any kind of aggression. You know, like, okay, I didn't see the early military school, there was no spear, and he comes in onto the backside, spots the villagers. It's only 4 villas on gold, so to me, that doesn't look like a castle age. It kind of looks more like maybe you want to stay in age 2 and just get your upgrades quickly. Like maybe you're getting your wheelbarrow, maybe you're getting your horticulture, that sort of thing. So let's see how Core goes about responding to this, because I will note that he's now transitioned villagers across over onto stone, but this is quite late. I mean, he does spot the military schools here, so this could be a little bit of a giveaway that it could be a feudal age play. We do spot the blacksmith as well. He's going to be looking for other production, and you can see he doesn't see the archery range, doesn't see the stable, and so immediately says to himself, okay, I think it's going to be a fast castle. Look at the military schools coming up here. There's nothing else in here, so it's got to be that. So I think from this perspective, Core can just go, all right, second TC, straight into Castle Age himself. The question is going to be, what's the follow-up to that? Because this is a bit of a difficult question to answer. It looks like he's going to open with a barracks, so just going to be expecting a Sipahi or two on the way through because of those military schools. That's the most natural thing that those Ottoman players will be looking to produce from their military schools once they reach the feudal age. We'll check in now with Corvinus and see how he's doing. He's got a scout moving across the map, obviously yet to scout his opponent out, but you can pretty much guarantee that every Chinese player is just going to go 2TC Song Dynasty. By far the best strategy to do as China, as long as you're not Barbican rushing, in which case, because that is the best. Vizier point going to be coming through. I'm assuming he goes for Imams here. It makes sense. You can see that Castle Ages. He's kept the 4 vills on gold this whole time. He's built up a pretty nice surplus of gold now, and he's lining up, but I would suspect it's going to be the Imams coming out. First of the Sipahis moving out as well, and you can see it's going to be routed out towards his backside, and then across by the looks of it. Let's see and take a look and see. Yeah, there's no real villagers here. He doesn't have much line of sight, but does spot that town center towards the top side. Could actually take this scout out if he wanted to. Just has to garrison all these villagers inside the TC. I thought that was a perfect opportunity for him to do it, and now he does. He realizes, but it might be a little bit too late. Does he get a second volley off? Scout survives on 4 health. Spearman going to be moving up, trying to find the intercept here. If he can manage to get this, oh, it's going to be close, but unfortunately, won't be able to find it. Scout will come out and will stay alive. Obviously, the regen will eventually bring it back up to full health, but a missed opportunity there for Core early on in this game. Sipahi now going to get caught out of position. Town center firing down on it as well. Let's take a look back towards the base as the MIA is now online. It is no longer MIA, ladies and gentlemen. The Mehmed Imperial Armory. So we are seeing it. It is going to be, at this stage in the game, a fast castle, and this is a pretty damn quick castle age. There's the Imams, as we suspected. And now moving towards the front of the base. So the big thing here is looking to pick up the relics. Now, you don't have to throw down a mosque. This is something that I often talk about. You want to get out onto the map, look to challenge those central relics, bring those relics back. You don't have to put them in a mosque immediately. You can always throw that mosque up later. Just get the relics. That's what's important. But obviously, you can always look to go for that mosque. And have a look at the resources that we've got in the bank here. This is so cool by Corvinus. It is wonderful getting to watch these build orders unfold as villages move to a bit of a weird location. Okay, he fixes it up. So we've got 2 military schools down. MIA coming down. Everything that he's got now is for free. Even the Vizier point to get the Imams, those guys came in for free. The army is free. Absolutely everything. He hasn't paid a single dollar for it, and I love that. MIA now coming through. Blacksmith is here. Expect to see that military school thrown down immediately here on the front. He's got a little spot for it over here. Ideally, I want to avoid them towards the front of the base. I'd be tempted to throw down another blacksmith in the back here. Just having those military schools towards the front, it feels... look, they're high-value targets, right? Like, these are the things you want to be killing if you're attacking an Ottoman player. You want to hit these military schools. They cost a lot of resources. They don't have a lot of health. That's what you want to be going for. But those Imams now moving out. First one, picking up the relics. Second one, nice little bit of a rally point out here as well. Let's check in into the main base and see how we're doing as the mosque is going to be coming up here. So going to be looking to store those relics. Gone for the 3rd military school. Looks like he will be going for a 4th military school. I'm loving this build so far from Corvinus 1. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, if there was ever a fast Imperial build for the ages, this has got to be it. And look at this, just up against a passive Chinese player. This is how they love to play it though, right? The Chinese sitting here, 2TC, Song Dynasty. I'm getting my upgrades. I'm going to go Castle Age now, 10 minutes. I tell you what, this is a bit of a late timing though. I don't know whether Core's new to the Chinese, but normal Chinese 2TC Song Dynasty timings, if I remember correctly, are somewhere around like the 8-minute 30 to 9-minute mark. It's a bit late, Core. What's going on here? We'll have to wait and see exactly what the plan is, but I guess Core's he's been stopping at quite a few of the techs. That's important to note. I did see him pick up Imperial Examinations. He's already got the Wheelbarrow in as well, which can obviously delay things. Has looked to pick up Survival Techniques as well, which is to be expected. But that Astronomical Clock Tower coming in, and I think what's so funny about this, or what's so important about this, is China, once they get to Castle Age, they take a bit of time to get online, right? Like, they want to get their tier 1 eco ups, which is what he's doing now. So that's going to deduct from the amount that you're bringing online. There's plenty of upgrades that you want to get as China early on. And you want to kind of play towards the long game, right? You're not about just winning the game immediately. Scout in the back of the base, though. We'll start to spot out the enemy position. Sees all the villages on gold, 11 villages on gold. Now, he's obviously looking at that and thinking that could be Knights or that could be Imperial Age. Doesn't really know at this point. Ville's idle as well. We're right on board with Corvinus. He's got plenty of resources in the bank at the moment. Imams continue to move out. And look at this. He's dropped the relic in the base. I absolutely love it. Perfectly played here by Corvinus. Just drops the relic in the front of the base. He can always come back and get it later. And he's already put this one back in. So perfectly played. Absolutely love it. Corvinus is on point with these Ottoman plays. I got to tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, Ottomans could be coming up the rear with the gear. That is for sure. Like, this is looking really solid. Now, of course, we're 12 minutes into this game and barely seen a unit go down. I think even this scout in the middle, did it even go down? It looks like it may have gone down. That was the first unit of the game. Yeah, we can see right there. There's the dead scout. Herdable sheep right behind it. So relics coming back. There's the Imperial Age about to come through. So he'll be looking to throw down that Istanbul Observatory. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, have a look at this. We've got this. This is the standard Chinese play, right? Like, Core is doing everything by the book at this point. If you're playing as the Chinese, this is what you do. Spear, crossbow, and throw in a couple of siege. Look to get your monastery out here. You get your tier 1 upgrades. He's got all of those upgrades coming through. Now he's looking to pick up relics. Unfortunately, it's only going to be the 1 relic for him compared to his opponent who was on 4. And there, on the other side of the map, is the Istanbul Observatory. Ladies and gentlemen, the brand new landmark, well, I say brand new landmark, the newly buffed landmark, gone from 60% up to 100% in the Imperial Age. This is big. Now, I did see a post on Reddit. Someone said, like, is it really that big of a buff? It seems kind of crazy. And people responded saying, look, it's not really that big of a buff because, you know, when you add this and add that together, it gets pretty big. Or it's not that much of a difference. But the truth is that there's quite a lot at play here because, first and foremost, we're rushing Imperial Age. So normally we wouldn't have rushed Imperial Age. We'd just kind of be sitting in the Castle Age. So already we're getting that extra bonus. And then on top of it, we're getting that buff on top of it. And then there's other factors to consider, like we don't have the extra speed yet for our military schools, but he's got 4 military schools online right now. Expect to see that 5th one thrown down as well in the pocket here. He's actually got a relic just sitting here ready to go whenever he needs to. Could even maybe look to go for a Wallalol, just keep it here nice and safe. He's hit Imperial Age. Look at the villager difference here. 45 up against 79. Hakuna Matata, aka Core, now going to start to push out. I think this is probably one of the worst things that you could do at this point because you don't really have much information about what the army of the enemy is in the composition. I think the best thing that you can do right now as the Chinese, you want to try and get Imperial yourself so that you can get roller shutter triggers. Roller shutter triggers is going to make the difference here in these fights. Mangonel shot comes out. Second Mangonel shot as well. It's going to go a little bit wide. The same time, Sipahi towards the backside, going to be looking to pick up those crossbows on the way through. It's a bit of a dive, going down towards those mangonels. Crossbows going to continue to kite through on the backside. The Wallalol going to be able to stop any kind of aggression on those mangonels. Repairs come through. Wallalol, unsuccessful. Well, at least it was successful in the way that it stopped the enemy from attacking these units. He's going to look to drop the relic down. Might even think about picking up a second one. Doing a decent job of cleaning up so far, and it looks like he may have overextended. The Mangonel does go down. Wallalol, is he going to be able to connect it? Doesn't look like it. Manages to escape once again. Third Wallalol. Mangonel still in here, by the way. I think he managed to capture a spearman. It looks like a Chinese spear did get captured here. And now it looks like the attack will be cleaned up. So Corvinus doing a decent job there of just holding on against his opponent. And now, Core's in a bit of a tough spot, right? Like, Core, don't get me wrong, Core is up 40 villages, and that looks great on paper. But what you don't consider is that military schools don't count for your villages. Neither does the MIA, and neither does the Istanbul Observatory, which is absolutely pumping out extra units that can be thrown in together with this. Have a look at how fast these guys are producing right now. This is ludicrous. 1 minute and 15 seconds right there for a men-at-arms. Hold on, that's not correct, actually. It's faster than that. Let's see if we can find one close to the end of its cycle. These two down here. Here we go. All right, because it doesn't actually tell you. I'm going to go with like 50 seconds, something like that. Let's have a look. Men-at-arms, 2, 1. It's going to come out right now. Holy, 40 seconds. 40 seconds for a free men-at-arm. That is absolutely ludicrous. And keep in mind, you got 5 of these bad boys. So you're talking about 5 every 40 seconds. That's 7.5 a minute. I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to measure it. But that's a lot of free resources when you think about it. Looks like the monk does get picked off. Keep going to be coming down here for Core. He's got plenty of villages. Keep in mind he's playing the Chinese, so it will come up a fair bit faster than what you're used to. Now towards the middle, we do see these clock tower Springalds are out. It's important that he doesn't push out because he wants to hold the high ground. It's really important. And of course, he wants to go Imperial. This is really, really important. I'd be really hesitant about putting the keep in this position. I would be much more tempted to take the gold vein on the edge of the map because then it becomes more of a task for your enemy to come and get it. But never mind that. We've got elite men-at-arms now. Keep in mind, I did see the elite army tactics on the way through. There it is, 3 seconds to go. These guys are about to get a beautiful little health boost. 180 up to 216, an extra 36 health. Don't mind if you do. And now these men-at-arms are really going to be incredible. I love this. I love this strategy, the whole funneling everything into men-at-arms. You've got your military schools that are all in Imperial age, pumping out units non-stop. He's on the 1 TC. This is the most all-in I've ever seen somebody, but the best part is he's not even all-in. I mean, he's all-in in the sense that if his attack fails, but he's not all in. He's got 4 relics. He's got Tithe Barns. At least I think he should have Tithe Barns. Let's double check. Yeah, he's got Tithe Barns. 4 relics, Tithe Barns, 5 military schools, all fully upgraded. Istanbul Observatory, MIA pumping out units non-stop. Like, realistically, what's happening here is all of those resources are just going into units and you kill them and then they just come back even faster. It's ludicrous how fast they're coming out here. And now Core in a bit of a difficult spot. Can you imagine if he had those extra units? Can you imagine if he was Imperial Age right now? Roller shutter triggers. You know, you supervise that bad boy out of a siege workshop and you don't even have to worry right now as we've got the first of the Great Bombards looking to move through Corvinus. I don't think he's going to be able to spot it and you can see all the damage coming through. Second round, will it get off? Indeed it does. Springalds coming out successful in that first negotiation. The first round of negotiations right there. And now we've got what might be the deciding factor in this game. If this landmark comes down the Great Wall Gatehouse, it could be the end, but there's not enough units here to defend. I don't think he's going to have the chance to get it up. Keep in mind there's only a small amount of villagers that can actually do it on this backside. Mangonel tries to hit the villagers, gets blocked off the top. Meanwhile, towards that top side, we do see the men-at-arms going to be starting to run around. Watch out, ladies and gentlemen, as they begin to potentially even make their way towards these Springalds. Springalds need to fire down upon that Mangonel. You can see them moving around. They're getting caught out of position here. Mangonel does go down, but look at the men-at-arms completely surrounding his opponent. Doesn't have the mass here to one-shot these men-at-arms, and now the villager's going to get eaten alive. Look at the progress here on this Great Wall Gatehouse. I don't think it's going to matter. I think it might be a good game, ladies and gentlemen. Where's the Great Bombard? There it is on the way through. Looking to seal the deal. More villagers coming in underneath that bottom side. Remember, you can only build a landmark from this bottom and this top position. You can't go from the edges, so it makes it a lot harder to do. And speaking of harder to do, look at this. Everything getting mauled right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the fast Imperial meta is alive. It is well. It is here to stay. Welcome to the new patch. Boy, oh boy, what a game right there from Salami. Fellas, if you haven't already, make sure you check out these 2 creators. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can watch them live. I'll also leave a link in the pinned comment to where you can pre-order the Sultan's Ascend. I'm looking forward to it. You are too, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.